Good morning students. In the previous class we have started with solution of state equation. So under solution of state equation we have two equations. One is your homogeneous equation and second one is your non-homogeneous equation. Okay. The difference between homogeneous equation and non-homogeneous equation is in a homogeneous equation the input u of t is going to be absent. And the non-homogeneous equation u of t will be present. Therefore, the solution obtained for this homogeneous equation, the response obtained is going to be only zero input response. And the response is nothing but we can call it as a free response or natural response or unforced response. So the solution obtained by using homogeneous equation is going to be a free solution or natural solution or unforced response of the system, and you are going to obtain only zero input response in case of your homogeneous equation. So under homogeneous equation the input u of t is going to be 0. Now we will see the solution of your non-homogeneous equation in this class. For this you consider the normal state equation. The normal state equation is going to be x dot of t is equal to ax of t plus bu of t. In this you take x of t towards one side and u of t on the other side. So if so you will be getting x dot of t minus a into x of t is equal to u of t. So in this equation you multiply on both the sides by e to the power of minus at. So when you multiply this particular equation with e to the power of minus at on both sides, you will be getting e to the power of minus at into x dot of t minus ax of t into e to the power of minus at, which is equal to e to the power of minus at b into u of t. So when you look at your left side equation, left part of the equation, it resembles d by dt of u dot v, that is d by dt of e power minus at into a into x of t. So it is going to be your u factor, okay, and it won't come. So a will not come. So it is going to be your u factor, and this is going to be your v factor, that is first term into differentiation of your second term plus second term into differentiation of your first term. So it looks like d by dt of e power minus at into x of t. Substitute this equation in here. So when you replace this equation, you will get like d by dt of e power minus at x of t, which is equal to e power minus at b u of t. Now assume the initial condition t to be equal to 0 and you remove this differentiation. You have to integrate on both sides. When you integrate on both sides, it is going to be e power at. This differentiation is removed and the limit is substituted from 0 to t. You will get e power minus at x of t 0 to t equal to integration e to the power of, this will be like this. So e power minus at will be outside. Integration between the limit 0 to t b u of tau into d tau. So when you take this e power minus at, that is exponential term inside the integration, there will be a linear variation, that is there will be small variation with respect to time factor. So we will get e power minus at x of t minus x of 0, and when you take this e power minus at inside the integration, you will get e to the power of minus a tau. So from this you are going to obtain two solutions, two response. One is your zero input response, another one is your zero state response. This is the complete solution of your non-homogeneous equation. Okay, when you are doing so, the observations made using in case of your non-homogeneous equation is two solutions is obtained. One is your zero input response, another one is your zero state response, And the formula to identify your zero input response is e power at x of 0. E power at is nothing but your state transition matrix, and x of 0 is going to be your initial condition. In case of your zero state response, the state transition matrix is e to the power of a t minus tau. So this is the state transition matrix in case of your zero state response. In case of your zero input response, the state transition matrix is e to the power of at. So what are all the properties of your state transition matrix? There are certain properties of your state transition matrix. We know that the state transition matrix is e to the power of at, and it is represented using phi of t. So we will see some properties of your state transition matrix, that is phi of t is equal to e to the power of at at various values of t. So at t is equal to 0, what is your state transition matrix? At t is equal to minus t, what is the state transition matrix? At t is equal to minus 1, what is your state transition matrix? Like this, by putting different values of t, we can obtain the properties of the state transition matrix. So first one, it is phi of t. Phi of t is e to the power of at. It is the general representation of your state transition matrix. Now the second one, when you apply t is equal to 0. So when you apply t is equal to 0, you will get e to the power of at. So at t is equal to 0 means e to the power of a into 0. You will get e power 0, which is nothing but 1. So it is nothing but your identity matrix. So it is the first property. When you apply t is equal to 0, you will be obtaining the identity matrix. Next one, when you apply t, e to the power of at. So when you apply it with minus a1, minus a and minus 1, when you apply a is equal to minus a, so you will be writing it as e to the power of minus at whole to the power of minus 1. So when you apply, you will be getting it as phi of minus t inverse. It is your second property that is shown over here. It is the second property that is shown. And first property is applying t is equal to 0. Second one, you will be taking minus a factor. So it is your second property. And third property is at t is equal to minus t. At t is equal to minus t means e to the power of at. So it is your state transition matrix. At t is equal to minus t means you will be getting e to the power of a. In the place of t, you have to substitute minus t. So when you substitute, you will be getting phi of minus t. It is your third property. Suppose if you have a different timings, that is t is equal to t1 plus t2, having like this, then the state transition matrix is going to be e to the power of a t1 plus t2. So this we can write it as e to the power of a t1 dot e to the power of a t2, which we can write it as phi of t1 and phi of t2. So it is not that you both, even you can write like this, phi of t2 dot phi of t1. So it is the other property which is shown over here. Okay. Next one, at time t is equal to t plus s. So if you are having the time t is equal to t plus s, you will be getting e to the power of at. In the place of t, you have to substitute t plus s. So you will get e to the power of a t plus s, which is equal to e to the power of at dot e to the power of as. So this is the property that is reflecting when t is equal to t plus s. Now when you have a constant a, it is not only the constant a. So when you have a plus b as a constant, you will have e to the power of a plus b into t. So this we can write it as e power at, e power bt, if and only ab is equal to ba. If this condition is satisfied, then only this property remains true. And for example, if you have phi of t to the power of n, you can write like this. Phi of t power n is equal to e to the phi of t is nothing but e power at. Phi of t to the power of n. So we know that phi of t is state transition matrix e to the power of at, this whole to the power of n, which we can write it as e to the power of a n t, where it represents phi of n t. The last property is when the time your from say initial period, that is you will be having an initial condition, it takes some amount of time to stabilize it, after that slowly it increases and again it stabilizes. So here 3 time period will be there, t0, t1, t2. So under this condition your state transition matrix is going to be t2 minus t1, it is your first factor. For this initial condition t1, t2 and at times stabilizes, so it is your t0, t1, t2. For this the state transition matrix is going to be phi of t2 minus t1, it is your first factor, and second factor is going to be phi of t1 minus t0. Therefore the total time period is going to be t2 minus t0. This we can write it as phi of t2 minus t0. It is the state transition matrix when it takes some amount of time to get to get stabilized from its initial point. So these are all some of the properties of your state transition matrix. In the next class we will solve some problems how to identify the state transition matrix and what are the different methods available to identify the state transition matrix. Thank you students.